It's the Prattle, where Westman, TCB, Allen, aka Pop, and I talk sports, specifically basketball and football, at length in a foolish and or inconsequential way. With that being said, I'm Dean's the producer, bringing to you the Prattle. Let's get it. Welcome to the Prattle, episode 4. It is Friday, January 26, 26 de enero for all our culture people out there. On today's episode of the Prattle, we present to you our very first guest on the show with whom we talk college basketball, star players, early March Madness talk, and then we talk NBA and the All-Star snubs as the teams were recently drafted, and who our best team would be in the NBA right now. For the NFL, we talk best QB coming into the draft, predictions for 2018, and then our now recurring segment, Over-Under. But first, we have a big announcement that affects all our subscribers and listeners, so listen up. I'll let Westman take it away.
Sure, guys. So I was talking with my brother the other day, and he and I came up with an idea. I thought we might need a name for our listeners because they're so important to us. So I was thinking we ought to call our listeners our Prattle people or our PPs. What do you guys think?
Not bad.
Love it.
Not bad.
Love it. Love my PPs.
So yeah, we love all our PPs, big or small. Very important to us.
No matter the
Yeah,
shape.
and speaking of our PPs, I'm going to kick it to TCB to introduce our first guest.
Thank you, Westman. And yes, one of our biggest PPs is actually kind enough to join us, talk a little basketball. We have former Zeeland East star. Don't get me wrong, this man was a superstar in high school basketball. We have Ben Ritzma. Benny, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. So you are a self-described college football fanatic. Is that correct, sir?
College basketball.
College basketball.
What did I say?
TCB.
What did I say? College?
I
College
said football.
Oh, I'm so sorry. College basketball. Yes, college basketball. And there are some pretty big studs in the college basketball ranks. Who are you looking at to winning that Naismith Award this year? There's a couple young guys balling out.
Bagley from Duke really stands out to me. Kid's a stud.
Yeah.
You can't ignore Trae Young either. That kid's putting up some serious numbers.
Who leads the nation in points and assists, dude? That's ridiculous.
Yeah. But he also takes about 40 shots
Right,
a game.
right.
So.
Well, did you see his last game? He only took 9 shots and finished with like 26 points. That's what we need to see from him.
And you see they won.
Exactly. Right, exactly.
They won that game.
Mm-hmm. Right. So yeah, there's those studs, but sometimes playing like a stud in college, like Tyler Hansborough, that doesn't translate always to the NBA. So, sorry, Wes. Who do you think of these stars in college, or maybe like a Luka Doncic or something? Who do you think is going to be the best pro out of these guys?
I don't know. That's really tough. Bagley's such a big body. He's 6'11".
Right.
He's just a beast. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
he just dominates. He's like a walking 2020.
Right.
But if he can develop a shot, like an outside 18-foot shot, I think he'd be a stud. But I don't know if he's got that. I love Trae Young's confidence. That kid comes out and chucks like 35-footers. He like reminds me of Steph, but like in college level. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, and he makes those shots too.
And he does. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. I think Trae Young could be a good NBA player, but he definitely still has some improving to do, like knowing when to shoot, when to pass. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I think Trae Young could be a stud in the NBA for sure. Give him some time though.
Right. Pop, what do you think? Who do you think is going to be the best pro out of these college studs?
TCB, you already know my answer, and that is Miles Bridges.
What?
Oh my goodness.
Mr. Do It All. He can distribute, he can shoot, he can jump over you, he can rebound, he can do it all. He can lock you up. He's the next LeBron James.
What?
Oh,
But Pop, see, this is the thing. I have people coming up to me. I'm coaching a high school basketball game tonight. After the game, I've got somebody coming up to me, Division I football player, telling me, dude, Poppy is the worst at predicting things. That man is the worst. And this is just another one in the line, dude. Like I said, Miles Bridges, not even in the top 2 on his team, okay? Don't give me Miles Bridges.
Man, that was a dagger.
Alan, Miles Bridges is a amazing college basketball player. NBA wise, I don't know though. I don't see it.
I don't see it either.
His athletic ability is going to be equaled in the NBA.
Right. Exactly.
He's already the size of any NBA player right now.
Exactly.
And he's gonna dominate. He's gonna fit in perfectly.
He's the same player as like 30 other NBA players right now.
And his jump shot's broke.
The only thing he has going for him is that he's left-handed.
Right, because we all know lefties are much better than righties. This is for sure.
TCB would know.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Hey,
guys are haters.
Westman, who do you think's the number 1 pick this year, or who's going to be the best pro? And if you say Luke May, I will slap you.
I really like Luke May, but I'm going to be a little bit more realistic. Marvin Bagley, in my opinion, he just has the body and the talent and the attitude out there on the court. He's got that NBA skill. I mean, you just recognize it in his play. But one of Krzyzewski's greatest strengths is getting the maximum production out of players while they're in college. And you've seen it in translation to the NBA. Duke players really haven't produced as much as they have in college, except for Kyrie Irving and
Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum in Boston. So if you go back to Jahlil Okafor, I mean, he hasn't turned out in the NBA at all. So we'll find out with Marvin Bagley, but I think he's got the talent to be a star.
Yeah, I definitely agree. That body, man. Like
He's a beast.
those guys
He's a
don't
beast.
those guys don't grow on trees. Okay? A guy like that. And this dude, think about this. This man should have been a high school basketball player this year. What? He's scoring
That's
30.
insane.
He's scoring 30 and 20. Like, I see his box score stats. I'm like, this dude's scoring 30 and 20 in the ACC. You're kidding me. Whatever. I mean, he is a man, but I don't think he's going to be the best pro. I think a guy that we haven't gotten to see, and it's very unfortunate he got injured at the beginning of this year. I think Michael Porter Jr. is going to be the best pro out of this group. I just see him with the length. He's got a jump shot. He looks like a Kevin Durant. He could grow into a guy like a Kevin Durant. And I think those are at such a premium in the NBA. I think he is definitely going to be the best pro out of this class.
Yeah, he's every bit of 6'10" that can shoot it.
Right.
You don't find that everywhere, so.
Right, yeah. That's what I wish I would have gotten to see him play college basketball. Don't you, Benny?
I watched him for about 5 minutes in
Right.
the opener, and then they pulled him.
Right.
And, he's got the body for it. That's no question about that.
Right.
Well, yeah, absolutely, and that's where the league is turning. If you're going to be that height, you have to be able to shoot. And so if he's coming into the league with a shot like that, he's going to have quite the advantage. But going back to Marvin Bagley, that's a place where if he can improve, like he can capitalize on his height. Everybody can develop a shot, but then again, you can't teach height. I mean, if he can develop a shot, he's going to be one of those guys like Porzingis and like Kevin Durant. If you're that tall, you're going to shoot over anybody.
Yep.
Yeah, it's... Go ahead, Benny.
I was just going to say, one name we haven't even said is DeAndre Ayton.
Oh, yeah.
7-footer.
Yeah, talk about him.
I haven't watched Arizona much this year.
Yeah.
But this kid is projected to go number 1, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I just looked up the NBA draft projection, and he's projected to go number 1. I mean, he's 7 foot, 260. I mean, 7-footer that can shoot.
Right.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
So-
That is a matchup nightmare.
That's a problem.
He's one of those
So I don't-
old school bigs. He just rebounds. He dominates
just a
on the
beast.
block.
Yeah.
He's a
So
freak.
I don't think we can sleep on Aiton either. So I guess we'll just have to see.
Yeah, we'll have to see for sure. A little bit later down the road, there is the best tournament in sports, and that's not close. Don't tell me NBA playoffs. Don't tell me any other. Don't even tell me NFL playoffs with the Super Bowl. No, March Madness is the best tournament in sports. Do you guys not agree?
I could not agree more.
No, I don't agree.
Pop, what can you possibly tell me that's going to convince me?
The UEFA Champions League.
Okay, you don't
Do you guys
love
even know what
America.
that is?
You don't love America.
It's soccer.
I know.
I just have an appreciation for different sports.
Okay.
I think you just play FIFA.
Yeah, you just.
Yeah,
play
That's
FIFA.
also true. That is
You're a
very
FIFA
true.
player.
I'm very good. Anyone challenge me, I will beat them.
Okay.
He's also Latinx.
Last night I got on Xbox and Poppy was playing FIFA at about 1 a.m.
Yeah, actually 3 a.m. I didn't fall asleep till 3, but
Oh my god, playing
See, there
FIFA.
you go.
Oh my
Yeah.
god,
Poppy's
I mean-
addicted to FIFA. Fun fact for you.
that is a
Tottenham
fun
Hotspur
fact.
is my squad. Okay,
Okay, nobody cares and nobody knows who they are.
fair enough.
Okay, anyways, to get back to March Madness, it's a long ways away, and honestly, everybody is losing around the college basketball ranks right now. Honestly, besides Purdue. Purdue in Michigan had a great game last night. Benny, in terms of the Final Four, that's pretty much what everybody's striving for, to get to that Final Four. Who do you see as some teams that could be ending up in there in San Antonio in March?
Yeah, I mean it's so early. It's hard to even talk about this, but I really like Purdue.
Yeah.
Purdue is a matchup nightmare for any team. With Isaac Haas, 7'1", 2 whatever, looks like a fridge,
Yeah.
and a team that can hit 23s in a game, like that's just stupid. But I like Purdue, but I don't know if they have that tournament experience, so I'm not gonna take Purdue. I like Villanova; they have the experience. Duke, I'm not gonna bet against Coach K. Let's see. I like Oklahoma as well. Trae Young, kid can play.
Dude, did you watch that Oklahoma State game? They looked god awful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they can also play really well. They just beat Kansas the other night.
No, you're right. You're right. And I
So-
mean, one of those teams, if they can get hot in March, I mean, it's
Yeah.
over.
I think you give Trae Young another 2 months to figure it out. Come March, he's gonna lead his team to the Final Four. And I'm gonna go on a limb here and say Wichita State.
Ooh,
I like
Shocker.
that pick.
ooh.
That team can play.
Yeah.
That team is a bunch of dogs that just love to play together. So I'm gonna go with Wichita State in the Final Four.
Wow. They just lost in conference, I think, to St. Mary's. Is that who they just lost to?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not even worried though.
That's a good
You're not
conference,
worried.
though.
No, it honestly is. It's an underappreciated conference, Wes. I don't know if you're bashing them.
I'm not. No, I'm being legit.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. It's become a lot better. Benny, to go to your Wichita point, they've got a guy named Landry Shamet, and he is the real deal. He's averaging like 15 and 8 or something this year.
Yeah, that kid can play.
Right.
That kid can play.
Yeah, he definitely can. Pop, what do you think? Give me one team. Give me the one team that you picture seeing hoisting, standing up on the ladder, cutting down the nets in March, or actually in April.
To be honest, it's pretty hard to say right now. We look back at the previous tournaments and we see these random teams in the Final Four, like last year, South Carolina, and teams like that.
Right.
Actually, I don't think South Carolina was in the 5-4 Elite Eight. I'm sorry.
No, they were in the Final Four.
They were in the Final
Oh,
Four.
excuse me. But I don't know. It's hard right now, but you already know who I'm picking. I'm picking the Michigan State Spartans, baby.
The Michigan
hoist-
State, even when Tom Izzo steps down tomorrow?
Yeah, they might
He's
have a
not-
coaching problem, but we'll
he's
get to
not
that.
stepping down.
We'll get into that. Okay. Hey, honestly, being a Michigan fan, it hurts. But honestly, I see the talent. Hey, tune in to the Purdue-Michigan State game at the Breslin Center because that is going to be an insane college basketball game.
It's going to be a fun one.
That is going to be a fun one. Holy cow. Westman, who do you see?
All right, it is way too early to be talking about this.
Right.
But I know my pick. And it's the Virginia Cavaliers, and here's why. Their defense is so consistent. You're going to get that every game. Listen, guys, they held Clemson to 36 points in a game. 36 points.
Wow.
And we all know the NCAA tournament is all about getting hot, right? You have to win 6 games in a row to win it all. And Virginia is a team where they can play up. Their defense is going to be there every game. And if they can get hot, I see them winning it all. And right now they're undefeated in the best conference in basketball. If they can get through the ACC, I don't think they're going to have a problem with anybody else.
I love that
Definitely
pick,
cannot
Wes.
argue that.
No,
That
you
is a
can't.
bold pick. That is a bold pick.
It is bold, but honestly, hey, Clemson's no slouch, dude. Clemson's
Right.
pretty good.
Is it bold though?
It-
Is it bold? They're 19-1.
Benny, yes, it is bold. Because who's talking about Virginia Cavaliers? They're so under the radar. Yes, they are 19-1. I agree with you, but nobody talks about them.
It's true.
Well,
They're
and,
on the
and
worst
a
basketball
big
conference
reason
in the nation.
a big reason I give them a lot of credit is high school recruits. Nobody wants to come into Virginia and play slow. So with the talent that they get and how they're producing, it's really impressive.
Right. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I'm gonna stay in the ACC with my pick, and Virginia actually plays Duke. I think it might be tonight, or I don't know if they played tonight or not. But I'm going with Duke. They have way too much freshman talent that is gonna mature by the time March rolls around. We obviously touched on Marvin Bagley. They have Trayvon Duval, who is the real deal. Gary Trent Jr., the son of the great Gary Trent, who was a dog. And they also have Wendell Carter. I mean, and I didn't even mention Grayson Allen. So just think of that starting 5 is honestly ridiculous in terms of talent. So if you get them to play together, I like Duke. Benny, what do you think about Duke?
I love Duke. And the main reason I like Duke is because of their head coach.
Right.
That Coach K will get them ready for March. He's like Izzo. Who cares what happens in the regular season? But once March hits, it's time to go.
Right.
That's a great
So I'm not
compliment.
betting
That's a great compliment, Ritz. I really appreciate that.
Well,
I'm
you're
not-
absolutely right. You mentioned the freshman talent for Duke. I think what's really going to boost them, I hate to say it, but it's definitely Grayson Allen. Having a veteran leadership on that team to boost freshman talent, it's a game changer. A lot of these teams, you see Kentucky, they've fallen out of the top 25. If you don't have a veteran, you're going to fall apart.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Grayson Allen, he's gone through his troubles or whatever you want to call them, but he's still a great player. I mean, what did he have against Michigan State? Like 35 or something like that.
Yeah, he
The
balled.
kid can still play. So definitely with him and all the freshman talent and Coach K, I'm not betting against Duke in the slightest.
Right. As Poppy alluded to Coach K, Coach Mother Trucking K,
Yeah.
in one of our past podcasts. Yes, I agree. You're not going to find a better coach in college basketball. That is for sure. Tom Izzo isn't even close to Coach K. Benny, I don't know what the heck you're talking about there. Uh,
I mean,
but
trust me. Trust me. I do not want to say that.
right.
I mean, I can't. I can't not
Yeah.
be acceptant of Tom Izzo in March. So
Yeah, you're right, because Tom Izzo hasn't won a championship in 18 years.
he's also
Chill.
been to like 4 Final Fours. So
Hey, Michigan should have won that national championship after they lost to the University of Adidas at Louisville.
yeah.
John Beeline is
I
the
think
poor
we-
man's Tom Izzo.
John Beeline is a
Okay,
phenomenal coach, dude.
okay.
He's underrated.
He's a poor man's Tom Izzo.
Yeah, okay. Hey,
Yeah, that's-
speaking
I'm
of...
I don't even want to get into that.
Yeah.
I'll get too fired up.
Right, yeah. Well, Pop just makes stupid remarks just to try to get us to do something.
Why? He's not even that good of a coach.
Okay, shut up.
That's-
Hey,
Why?
Goodness.
What makes
Listen.
him good? What makes him good?
what makes him good?
Prove
Dude,
me wrong.
You think, listen, you think, look at the Michigan talent and look at the Purdue talent, right? Look at them. You see that Purdue has so much more talent than Michigan, right?
Okay.
And Michigan has played with them way better than they should. Way better than they should. Because they're able to spread the floor under Beeline's system. Okay? Beeline, sure, people say he lives and dies by the three. That might be true. But he recruits so he's able to do that. He has Mo Wagner, who's a 7-footer, that's hitting threes. He's got Muhammad Ali Abdul-Rahman, who last night was unconscious from three. Duncan Robinson, he doesn't start anymore, but he can hit the three. Jordan Poole off the bench, he can hit the three. Isaiah Livers, everybody can hit the three. That's what I'm saying, man. He's a great
just
coach.
To go off on you. Look at Michigan State's talent. Look at Michigan's talent. We went into East Lansing 2 weeks ago.
Exactly.
And dominated for 40 minutes.
Dominated him. Tom Izzo looked
Dominated.
lost, dude.
He didn't know what to do with Mo Wagner.
Absolutely
Couldn't
not.
Figure it out.
Is it
Well,
really?
no.
Is it really good coaching if your players can shoot?
Oh, yes.
You got to put.
Why?
You got to put the players in their position to shoot.
If your
You need
players
to-
are hitting shots, what does that make you a good coach?
Because
They're hitting
Pop,
open shots.
Pop, you need to get open shots, and in his system, we get open shots.
Debatable.
It's not debatable, but okay. Anyways,
not. It's
it's
really
just not. It's just not, Pop. But what we are going to do is we are going to stick in the Big Ten, talking Michigan and Michigan State, but neither team are at the top of the Big Ten right now. Benny, who do you think is the best team or the best couple teams in the Big Ten right now?
Right now, hands down, it's Purdue.
Right?
It's not even close. Nobody can guard that team. They have Isaac Haas, who I said looks like a fridge. And they have about 3 or 4 guys that shoot over 50% from three.
Jeez.
So you pick your poison with this team. You double on Haas, they're going to kick it out, hit 3. You don't double on Haas, and he's going to drop 25 on you because you can't stop him. So I like Purdue. The only reason I think Michigan hangs with them is because they can spread them out with Wagner, and Wagner can take them off the dribble or shoot the ball. But with a team like Michigan State, it's a really interesting matchup because Nick Ward obviously is not going to step out and hit a 3, but you got a guy like Jaren Jackson who can do that.
Dude, he's the
So-
real deal.
Yeah, he's really good. We'll see what happens. That's going to be a really fun game.
What do you think about Ohio State?
See, they just got knocked off by Penn State at home last night. I don't know if it was a fluke, but I mean, they're solid, but I don't see them running the table or anything like that. They're a solid team though. I think they'll be 3rd behind Purdue and Michigan State by the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean they haven't played Purdue yet, so it's kind of hard to gauge a little bit.
Exactly.
Right. So you see Purdue taking the Big Ten?
Yeah, I do, just because even if Michigan State does knock them off at the Breslin, which very well could happen, Michigan State still has 2 losses. That would only put Purdue at 1, and I don't know if another team in the Big Ten could beat Purdue.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you.
Nobody can match up with them. It's It's just my thing, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean that's why you play the games for sure. I mean college basketball is awesome. You see the passion. You don't see that in the NBA, and that's why I personally like
Yeah.
college basketball a ton more than the NBA.
But don't get me wrong, come Big Ten tournament, you never know what could happen.
Right. I mean, look at
Michigan
Michigan last year.
I mean, look at Michigan could match up with Purdue in the second round and knock them off. I mean, they've been within 4 points, so we'll see.
Right, for sure.
Yes, we'll see.
Sticking in the Big Ten a little bit, there was some pretty devastating news the past day and then before, obviously, with Larry Nasser at Michigan State, and now the more developments with rape allegations against Michigan State basketball and football players. This is a very sad day, not for Michigan State, but for these girls that were taken advantage of, and my heart goes out to these survivors, but it will have an implications in the sports ranks with D'Antonio and maybe Izzo losing their jobs. Obviously, the president already stepped down and the athletic director. So, Pop, you're a Michigan State guy. I just was curious your opinion on these recent allegations and news.
Yeah, I think justice needs to be served. I don't care who the coaches are. It needs to happen. It's devastating. I can't imagine what these young women are going through. It's sad. It's horrifying. I feel awful.
I'm just gonna say I really appreciate Poppy saying that as a big Michigan State guy.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's just real. I have to be real.
It is.
It's more.
a real thing.
It goes more than sports right now.
Exactly.
Right, I agree. We don't have to go too deep into this, but this is definitely bigger than anything that is sports. These are women that were victimized, and no one is above that. No one's above the law. No one's above getting fired. I don't care how great your career was as a coach. I don't care about Paterno getting fired. He had a great career. I don't care. No one's above it. So, what I felt right away when I heard this was burn it to the ground. If anyone actively covered up any of these allegations for the sake of sports, for the sake of entertainment, for the sake of protecting themselves, they should be fired without a doubt.
Definitely.
Yeah, to go along with Benny, Pop, I do really appreciate you saying that. I think if it were any of our teams, whether it be North Carolina or Michigan, I think we'd be feeling the exact same way. Who gives a crap who the coach is of a sports team? Like, we're doing a sports podcast, but life is bigger than sports, and sometimes people forget about that. And yeah, justice needs to get served, and these football players who, honestly, when I'm reading that article, they got off almost scotch-free. And that's unacceptable to me. Those girls are going to have to live with that for the rest of their lives. And it just sucks. So, yes, I appreciate that. And I think we're going to keep it at that. It's a heavy topic.
Definitely.
But, yes, thank you guys for touching on that. That was a topic that I just wanted to bring up. But yes.
It was definitely worth saying.
Yeah, it
Absolutely.
definitely was. Deans, you're the NBA guy, my friend. We're talking NBA. We're talking All-Star stuff. What do you have to say about this All-Star draft, this system? How'd it go?
Well, obviously, LeBron and Steph both did it, and then they both tweeted about how it should have been televised after it was decided by the players that it was not going to be televised, which all the fans were obviously disappointed in. So I'd love to see it televised next year, assuming they're sticking with the same format. I think we'll talk all-star snubs and undeserving players if you guys want. I've got a couple if you want me to start. Otherwise, I'll hand it off to whoever.
Yeah, take it over.
All right. Well, obviously, I'm an OKC homer, but I think even from an unbiased standpoint, Paul George needs to be in there. Homie's averaging 20.9 points per game right now, and he's one of the league leaders in steals. And I think
He is the league leader, I think.
Yeah, he's up there for sure. He might be number one. And that's with Russell Westbrook and Carmelo Anthony. So I think that's a lot more impressive, or very impressive. And I think someone that he could have taken the spot from, I don't know if he would be registered as a forward or a guard, but if it was a forward, I'm thinking probably. Actually, no, he'd definitely be a guard. I'm thinking Klay Thompson or Draymond Green. I don't think 4 Warriors should be in it this year. I think Steph and KD, obviously, and then maybe one of these two. But Paul George has 20.9 points per game. Klay Thompson has 20.5, and then neither their assists per game or rebounds per game are that impressive. And then Draymond Green, obviously, averaging much lower points per game, but then more assists and rebounds on the Warriors, who put up insane amount of points per game. But I think Paul George definitely deserved that spot. I think he was truly a snub this year. Yeah. Also, I don't think Al Horford should be in it, but I don't know anyone in that Eastern Conference that deserves it over him.
Well, here's the thing. In my opinion, if you have the fans voting, it's good to keep them interested. But the real people that are able to gauge the best players in the league are the coaches. And Doc Rivers mentioned this. He said it should be the coaches that are picking these guys. They obviously know, they see it day in and day out who the best players are. And I think when you have the fans voting, you're gonna get 4 Warriors All-Stars. And you're gonna get Paul George snubbed because he's not that talkative of a guy. You're gonna get all sorts of guys that have real talent, that have all-star talent, that should be in the All-Star game, and then it doesn't happen.
Right. With this fan voting, it gets the fans involved, but then it's all about marketing from the team's point. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not even about who is the best player anymore. It's about who markets their team, their players the best, and then who has the biggest fan base. Obviously, the Warriors have an exploding fan base nowadays, so obviously they're going to have right. So they're going to have more All-Stars voted in simply because they have a bigger fan base.
Right, for sure. Benny, what do you think about the All-Star format? Maybe some snubs. Any thoughts on the All-Star game?
I love the format. I love the 2 captains. I think it's a great switch of pace. I do wish it was televised, though, because I definitely would have watched.
I agree.
Some snubs. Andre Drummond definitely should have been in over Al Horford, in my opinion.
That's a good call.
I don't know if you saw his stat line the other night, but he had like 30 points, 24 rebounds,
like 5 blocks, 4 steals.
It was stupid. It was stupid. And you're telling me that Al Horford is a better center than DeAndre Drummond?
Right. I'm just going to jump in right here, and I'm going to tell you these stats. Okay. I'm not going to tell you who the people are, but you're going to tell me who's more deserving. Player A, 13.3 points per game, 7.8 rebounds, and 5.3 assists. Player B, 14.7 points per game, 15.3 rebounds, and 3.9 assists. In my opinion, that's not even close.
I love the 1.5 more assists. Love it.
Right, exactly. But the eight rebounds a game and 1 point per game, it means nothing, apparently,
especially
to the
from a
voters.
center.
Yeah, from a center, exactly. Yeah, the assists are the most important part for a center. But yeah, Andre Drummond, the most obvious All-Star snub. I like that one, Ben.
Did you see his Twitter rant about it?
I did not. What did he say?
He did not like it. Let's just put it that way.
Say a couple of F words.
He said, "Are you blanking kidding me?" Put an explicit in there.
Yep.
Just did not care about what anybody thought of him. But I mean, I'm not even mad about him for tweeting about that because I agree.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
It's blank. It's blatant that he should be.
It's kind of ridiculous. And I also agree with Landon. Paul George is an all-star in this league. I don't care what anybody says. He's an all-star in this league, no matter where he's playing. Yeah, I don't know about that one either. It's kind of ridiculous in my opinion.
Pop?
Ben took exactly what I was gonna say, so I'm gonna just wing it. Definitely Al Horford. He is not that good. He is very undeserving of that position. Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond. I couldn't agree with you guys more. Those two players should switch out. But I'm looking at the list, and why the heck is Kevin Love on it? I don't understand. I do.
I
not
agree with you
understand.
there.
I mean, he is almost averaging a double-double, though.
He's averaging, I think,
18 and
18
9.
a game.
He's just,
It's not
I don't
terrible.
know. I feel like LeBron felt bad for him. He's like, hey, come on, just come on my team. But I don't think he's deserving. And the person who got snubbed, definitely Andre Drummond, Paul George, they both got snubbed. I agree with you guys. So it's tough not to see them in because being an all-star really affects how you're looked at when you're in come free agency time. So
Right, and
a
especially
problem.
at the end of careers too, you look at how many All-Star appearances, and because the fans are voting, Paul George is snubbed on one of those.
exactly.
You're right. That's absolutely the most important part about this game. At the end of careers, people do look at how many All-Star appearances there were. And
Right, for sure.
It's somewhat fun to watch, but it really doesn't mean anything other than that.
Right,
Yeah, I
it's more of
agree.
an award than a game.
Right, definitely. Something that I would say, I thought Ben Simmons should have been an All-Star this year. Just the way he's been performing at the point guard. Listen, this man is 6'11", almost 7 feet, playing the point guard. He doesn't turn the ball over at the point. He gets a bunch of assists, points. That man had a triple-double in 22 minutes the other night. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, he was mad he didn't get picked.
Yeah, so was Andre.
Yeah.
Like Benny was talking about. So,
you think
yeah.
One thing I
Simmons-
want to say about that, Toby, though,
What was that?
I think if he's not a point guard, he makes it. But since there's so many
Yeah.
dominant point guards in the league right now, he's left out.
Right.
That's a good point.
I mean, you got Steph Curry, James Harden, Kyrie,
Dame
Get-
Lillard.
Westbrook.
Wall,
Get freaking Kyle
Dame.
Lowry out
I
of the
would-
game.
Damian
That's what I was gonna
Lillard,
say.
Like, there's
Get
there's so
Kyle
many
Lowry.
guards.
I'd rather have Ben Simmons than Kyle Lowry.
Yeah, I agree.
Quick question: Are we calling Ben Simmons a rookie?
Yes.
Okay, we are.
Yeah, he is a rookie, and he might not win the Rookie of the Year.
Ooh,
That might be hard.
No,
Donovan
Mitchell. Yes, Pop.
Yes.
Jason Tatum.
He's cold.
No, not Jason Tatum, Benny. Look at Donovan Mitchell's numbers. Look at Jason Tatum's
I've
numbers.
seen 'em.
Donovan
Yeah.
Mitchell. How did the
He's-
Pistons drafted Luke
The
Kennard?
Pistons missed on
They
one
drafted.
there, didn't
They always draft the white guy. They always draft the white guy. And I'm like, I watched him play against Michigan when the University of Adidas at Louisville played against Michigan in last year's NCAA tournament. And I'm like, whoa, that dude's going to be a great pro. And then they draft Luke Kennard, the white shooter, the Nick Stauskas of this draft. And I'm like, oh no. So, yeah, I think Donovan Mitchell is going to win the Rookie of the Year. But Ben Simmons is very deserving as well.
One person that I think is really deserving, Victor Oladipo.
Yes.
That dude has been a beast this year.
Couldn't agree more.
24 points per game, 4 assists, 5 rebounds. I mean,
Sheesh.
ever since that trade to the Pacers, he's just kind of going nuts. So, I think it's great to see him getting involved in the All-Star game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's
think
really
that-
leading that charge in Indiana too.
Yeah, I think that shows how bad Russell Westbrook is of a teammate.
He's
So,
yeah,
he's got
definitely.
to be the
Definitely,
worst teammate
sure.
in the history of
Yeah.
the NBA.
Yep.
He's got to be.
Yep. Yep.
But honestly, I have to agree with Ben. Victor Oladipo is, if he doesn't win the Most Improved Player of the Year, then that award is rigged because he is straight up balling out this year. And he's the man in Indiana. You know, he hasn't been the man
Yes.
really, and it's fun to watch.
Hold up. Where's my man Chris Paul? Why is he on this list?
Him too. It's a snub right there.
Dude, he was hurt though. He was hurt too much.
That's
he didn't
true,
play
that's
enough
true.
games. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah. But I think if he would, I mean, he would definitely be on that list.
And
For
Kawhi
sure.
was hurt too,
That comes
right?
back.
Yeah, Kawhi. Kawhi hasn't really done much when he's played either. Honestly.
Well, it's still only like 10 games.
Right. Exactly. It's a small sample size.
Why
Thing
leave
about
in San
Chris Paul,
Antonio?
too,
Don't sleep.
comes-
Yeah, he might leave. He might.
Thing about Chris Paul too, it just brings me back to my point that this league right now is so guard heavy.
Holy
There's
cow.
so many good guards that even if he was healthy the whole year, I don't know if he'd be on the team just because there's so many great guards.
Right. He definitely would be on the team, Ben. Dude,
He'd have
that
to-
man. That man
I
is
mean,
so
over
good.
Who?
He'd have to trump
Kyle
Damian
Lowry,
Lillard.
maybe.
Yeah, probably over Damian Lillard. But yeah, dude, I don't know.
Lillard's averaging 25 though.
Listen, you're freaking right. You're freaking right. That's why when Poppy asked me in a other podcast if I'd rather have, who was it, Pop? Anthony Davis or another guard? I'm like, it's got to be Anthony Davis because those things are a dime guards are a dime a dozen right now, point guards. And being able to find a dominant big like that, I think, is much more important in this league right now.
Yep.
Okay, guys.
so
As an overall,
Go
I think we can all agree that LeBron drafted better than Steph.
yes,
100%.
Debatable.
Pop.
Stop
you
it,
think
Alan.
you think
No
Steph's
shooters.
gonna win?
No shooters.
Kevin
LeBron
Durant's
didn't
not a
sh-
shooter.
He's the only shooter.
Kyrie is not a shooter.
No. He's a
What?
finisher. He's a known finisher.
He's a known finisher, but he's also shooting over 40% this year. Pop.
And
Steph-
I just want to say this goes on LeBron's resume. In a couple years, we might see him as a player, coach, GM, and maybe an owner as well.
All at once. All at
All
once.
at once.
He's gonna be owning a team in Lithuania. Just wait on it.
I refuse to talk Lithuanian basketball. So,
Except LaMelo had 43 the other day.
God, yeah, because his dad is suiting up now. That is the most freaking ridiculous stuff I've ever seen.
Toby, it sounds to me like you're a small baller.
Yes, I am. Hey, listen. We started this podcast to talk about real sports.
Oh my gosh! Don't
Real
you dare!
sports. And I'm
You're just
not
going to discredit a whole Lithuanian league?
oh, you mean the Lithuanian league that plays 15 and 16-year-old white guys? That's all they're playing against, dude.
All right.
And then once they play the hard Lithuanian league, they play like 2 minutes. Both of them didn't score. Just saying.
Toby, don't hate on big baller basketball.
Hey, me versus LaMelo, 1-on-1, I win.
Easy.
Bold.
Easy.
Not even close. I don't think that's close.
Easy TCB.
We know
We
you were a
don't, we don't
high
need to
school
get into the triple
sharpshooter.
Bs.
TCSB.
Dude, he can't guard me for the 3-point shot. Nobody can.
No
All right, and that
no
was talking
comment.
that was talking Lithuanian basketball.
Yeah, that's all we need to talk about.
We're kind of pushing our limits on our time here. Do you guys want to keep our best five in this, or do you want to just move to our over/under?
I say we move on. Let's go.
All right. I'll tweet my best five. Follow me at Prattle Deans.
Heck yeah, I'm posting it on Instagram. Prattle TCB.
Prattle_Deans, that is. I still
And
only have girl spam
I also have an
accounts following
underscore. Come on,
Anyway.
cuh.
me. We'll start with our over/unders. Does anyone want to start?
I've got one.
All right, take it away.
So the other day, Vince Carter turned 41 years old. He's still in the league. He plays for the Kings. He's in his 19th year in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got an over/under 2 years before he retires.
Like, what do you mean 2 years? So like one more after this year?
I think 2 more after this year. I think he's got it in him.
Okay.
So finish this year and then 2 more for Vince Carter.
Yeah.
All
Yep.
right.
I'm going under.
I'm going under as well.
I'm
He
going
said he wanted
way-
to get the 20 years.
Yeah, I'm going under too. I don't even. He's just a bench player at this point, but he's still balling at 41. Very impressive. I'm going under.
He can still dunk.
I
He
know.
did have one heck of a game against Cleveland not too long ago.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I love it when he dunks and the announcers go, "Wow, that's like old Vince Carter," and everyone goes crazy and turn back the time and
Right.
Back the clock.
Well, he was a beast when in his
He was.
prime. Oh my gosh. Pop, you have an over under for us?
yes, 400 over under 400 points in the All-Star game.
First of all, you're literally kidding me because that was my exact over under.
That was mine as well. I was gonna go 350, but yeah, that's what I was gonna do as well.
Sorry, not sorry.
That's fine.
Oh, okay, I'll start this one off. I'm going to say under because I think this one's going to be more competitive. I think with this new drafting format, it's going to be a lot more competitive. People are going to care more, so I'm going to go under.
I'm gonna go under as well. I'm gonna go Team LeBron by 6.
Ooh,
Wow.
that's a
Okay.
tight one.
Sounds like a nail biter. Be watching that the entire time.
I'm gonna fuel the debate here. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go over on this one. I think if I had to pick a starting 5, it would be LeBron's team.
What about
think
Curry?
Yeah, no, that's the exception. I would switch out Curry
Okay.
for Kyrie.
Yeah.
Those are my that's my starting 5 if I had to pick it. And who knows? The competition might just fuel it even more. I don't care how competitive it is. They're not going to play defense.
All right, I have
It's
another.
gonna be about 100 dunks. So
I like that one.
I have another
$100.
over under, and it's kind of touchy, kind of not.
Okay.
Over under 10 years until Michigan State gets the death penalty.
Whoa!
Oh, boy.
wow.
I think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be ever. I think if Penn State didn't get the death penalty, which they didn't, they got some pretty severe sanctions, but they didn't get the death penalty. So I don't think Michigan State will get it. So I'm going to say never.
All right. Sorry
I
if that
concur
offends
with that.
anyone.
Unfortunately, I don't think there will be nearly enough penalty for that. But
Deans, do you
sounds
have
like-
an over-under?
Sounds like we're moving on. My over-under,
I don't need to guess on that.
my over-under, obviously we heard Dan Gilbert wants to sell the Cavs.
Oh,
Cleveland Cavaliers in Cleveland, Ohio. Are they worth over under $500 without LeBron James?
that's just mean.
Dude, honestly, can you give me a couple minutes to think about that one? Because I have to crunch some numbers.
Take the time you need.
Okay, all right. So swing it over to somebody else. I got to get
Do
the
you
calculator
think he would
out.
take $400 in a Buckeye nut?
I think he'd consider that one.
I think I might put in a bid.
I think Dan Gilbert sells the team to LeBron James.
That could
I think
really
I think he
happen.
owes so much to LeBron. He ought to just give it to him.
For free.
That's an under.
I think
Okay,
that's a
so
firm under.
I'm going way under free.
I am gonna go just over, only because of Isaiah Thomas.
Ooh.
That's
Love
fair.
that.
Isaiah Thomas is
Not much, though.
bringing those guys down right now, man. Though he is a great
He's-
point guard, don't get me wrong, but
Gotta
he's
pay
still
for his surgeries.
I'm not.
he's still trying to figure himself out in Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Cleveland. They'll be in the finals, so I'm not worried about that.
Oh.
Boston,
Oh.
Nope.
Toronto.
no, Toronto's cheeks, dude. They
The
always
Heat.
choke in the playoffs.
Heat. The Miami Heat.
Hey, do you guys know who Miami Heat's backup point guard is right now?
Yeah.
Maybe Derek Walton.
Derek Walton, baby.
No one cares
Can I just
about
say
Michigan
one thing
basketball.
though about the NBA?
What's that?
I want to say one thing about the NBA real quick.
Yeah, Benny,
Go
hit
ahead.
him.
Those new jerseys that they wore the other night are awesome.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right. That's right. Big fans.
Those things are nasty.
The Miami jerseys were sweet.
That take right there was worth having you on the show.
Yeah, it was.
That alone.
Hey, listen, before that, I was starting to regret it. Like, he hasn't really done much, but then he comes out with that. He comes out with that take, and I'm like, oh, well, that's why we had him out there.
He's now a friend of the program.
Right, exactly. Okay, I've got an over-under for you guys.
Let's hear it.
Over-under this year or multiple years. So the 1 year is going to be this coming NBA Finals. Will it be Warriors versus Cavs? And how many more years if you think it's going to be this year? So I'm saying over-under this year and then no more after.
So the line
Over.
is at after this year.
So the line is, it is going to happen this year, but then over
Never
would
again.
be more and under would be less.
Okay.
So if you say under, you're saying it's not going to happen this year.
Right.
Less. Under.
Way over.
Way over. How many, Pop?
Until LeBron retires.
LeBron's not staying in Cleveland, though.
Yeah, and what about
Yeah,
in the West?
he is. That's a different topic for a different time.
Ben, who do you think is going to be in the finals this year?
Cleveland and Golden State probably for the next 3 years
Next 3
Wow.
years.
because I'm with Poppy and I think LeBron's going to stay and they're just going to get better as a team. And we all know the Warriors aren't going anywhere, so I got Cleveland Warriors the next 3 years.
Do you
That
think that's a good take? Do you think Houston has any shot against Golden State this year, Benny?
I do. I'll give them 6 games though.
Ooh.
Hard to win in Houston, but Golden State's just too talented. Too many weapons.
Yeah, it's hard to win at the Oracle and during the playoff time too. Holy smokes, that place gets rocking.
And I know Landon's pulling for the Thunder. Hopefully they'll be able to figure it out by playoff time.
Dude,
6-game win streak right now. Hopefully 7. Going to the game tomorrow.
hey, the Pistons Thunder game with
Shout
the
out,
woman.
Sully.
With the woman. Hey, attaboy.
Shout out Summy.
Shout out to Sammy.
Hey.
The real question is though, are you gonna wear your Paul George or Russell Westbrook jersey?
That's a tough question.
I gotta go. I'm going OG.
Why not both? Why not
I'm
both?
wearing Russell Westbrook. I'm making my girl wear the Paul George one.
Wow.
fair.
Okay. Okay. Because
that.
she's like your sidekick and you never do anything for her. You just hog everything. Is that why?
Oh,
Are you also the worst person in the history of relationships? Is
Yeah,
that-
I'm the worst teammate to have in a relationship. That's what I
Right.
do.
Right. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay.
All right, enough of that. I think we're gonna talk NFL. Ritz, you want to join us for this, or are you all set talking basketball?
I think I'm good at the basketball. You guys can talk NFL, and I'll be interested to see what you guys have to say about that.
All right,
well,
Benny.
Ben,
Go
let
ahead,
me
Wes.
just say it's been really fun having you on the show. And congratulations on being the first guest on the Prattle. Go
That's a
ahead
big
and
deal.
put that on your resume. I don't think anyone's not going to hire you after they see that.
It's a true honor. It really is.
Hey, you might want
know.
to shoot Coach K a text like, "Hey, I heard you need a new assistant coach. I just was on the Prattle," and he's going to be like, "Hired." Just like that.
You know, I did shout him out a few times on this episode. So I mean, I don't know why he wouldn't. hire me.
You
Right.
got any shout outs?
Ooh,
You just put him on the hot seat.
yeah, you really just put me.
Sorry,
on the
you can
spot.
shout out anyone right now. This is your chance.
I'd like to shout out Oliver Gust.
OG?
OG
for
gets a
being
shout out.
for being my late night Fortnite partner,
Oh.
even though he's terrible.
Who isn't? We all are.
Is OG a PP?
I think he's listened.
Okay.
I don't know if he's a true PP though.
Right.
We'll see.
He's a small
We-
peepee. Small peepee.
He's a small PP, but he might be a.
I hope he hears that. I hope he's practicing right now because we still haven't won together. So
Oh, sheesh.
hopefully he'll get better at that. But I think that's all I got for you boys.
All right, Benny. Well, like Wes said, like Dean said, we all really appreciate you having joining us on the show, talking some hoops, and we hope to have you back on sometime, maybe closer to March. Sound good?
Perfect.
All right, sweet. Have a great night, man.
Appreciate
All
it,
right,
Rich.
appreciate it, boys. See ya.
Yeah,
see
peace
them.
out.
See ya.
And that was our Prattle exclusive NCAA basketball analyst, Ben Ritzma. Shout out to Ben. I think that interview went really well. Hopefully we can get some more guests on the show to talk sports. But now we're going to go into NFL. I believe TCB has some topics for us. TCB, you want to bring those up?
Yeah, for sure. So I've been exploding on social media, my friends. At 149 followers already, 4 days. Let's get it.
Wait, TCB, what's
And-
your username? I'll shoot
wait.
you the follow.
Yeah, you're right. It's Prattle. That's Prattle _ You know that little line that's not right in the middle, but it's at the bottom. And then TCB.
How do you spell TCB?
That would be T as in Tom, C as in Custer, and B as in I'm a big baller boy. Okay,
All right.
that was weird, but we're gonna keep going. So on social media, we had a guy by the new username of atil.man. Shout out to you, my friend. And he has a couple questions for us. The first being, who is the best available quarterback in the draft? Wes, we'll start with you. Who do you think the best quarterback is in this coming NFL draft?
In my opinion, this is pretty obvious. You may have heard of him. He won the Heisman Trophy. His name is Baker Mayfield. I don't care what you got to say about his height. The man is a baller. He's 6 feet tall. Drew Brees is 6 feet tall. Drew Brees is about to go for the all-time passing yards next year. Baker Mayfield, like I said, he's a baller. He's so competitive, and he's had a couple issues discipline-wise, but he's going to straighten that out. And if anybody needs him, it would be the Browns. They're desperate. And I don't think they should repeat what they've been doing. They've been drafting the typical prototype quarterback. They should go for something like Baker. He's kind of a wild card. He's got it.
Pop?
This is going to be bold. You guys aren't going to like me for this. My number one
Oh, God.
quarterback isn't Josh Rosen, isn't Sam Darnold, isn't Baker Mayfield. Is the kid from the Ohio State University, J.T. Barrett, baby. Oh. He reminds me of Drew
What?
Brees. He's the next Drew Brees.
What?
In what way?
How did you pick Drew Brees out of that?
Out of JT
Because
Barrett?
they both play in the Big Ten, and they're both undersized, both great quarterbacks, both winning quarterbacks. JT Barrett played for an elite Ohio State team and did very well. Just wait on him.
Alan, I just want to make sure we're picking for the NFL
Right.
draft, not the XFL.
Right, yeah, not that. Coming in 2020. But anyways, Pop, first of all, okay, is this a game for you now? Like you just make the worst takes every single
make
time
the
we take a take?
boldest take. So when it happens,
Okay, it's bold.
everyone thinks I'm smart. So,
Right, yeah, like when the Jaguars won by 14. Like that too.
hey, it's respect the biz. Respect the biz. Come on.
When you picked the Rams to win the Super Bowl?
Okay, why are you exposing me like this, TCB?
He's consistent.
I'm
And also when JT Barrett goes undrafted.
It doesn't matter if he goes undrafted. If he goes in the NFL and performs well, it doesn't matter.
You're right. He might be a middle of the line CFL quarterback one day if things go right for him. But the number one quarterback in this draft is Josh Rosen. He is the most NFL ready quarterback, and he might not have the highest ceiling of these guys. I think Baker Mayfield, like Wes said, is going to be good, as well as Sam Darnold, though he looked awful in his bowl game. But I see Josh Rosen being the number one pick and the number one quarterback to come out of this draft. And speaking of drafts, the same guy, atil.man, had another question for us. Are we going to churn out a mock draft? I'm like, okay, I think we could turn out a mock draft. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
We'll work on it.
Sure, I'm
Get
down
on
for
the
that.
bulletin
Yeah.
board.
Heck yeah.
Watch out, Mel
Yeah,
Kiper.
Mel Kiper, Todd McShay. I don't even know who they are, dude.
How about
We're the
we
Prattle,
give
and
our
we're gonna
top
come
5
up.
on the Prattle, and then we tweet out or post the
Heck
rest
yeah.
of the draft.
Sounds great, Pop. I love that idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Atil Man, thank you so much for the questions. Please shoot them to either me on Instagram or any of my other co-hosts on Twitter, and we would love to answer your questions and shout you out during the next episode of the Prattle. Just to kind of conclude our NFL segment today, I'd like to know one team from each of you guys that think might be a surprise hit next year. We'll start with Pop. Who do you think?
You guys already know who I'm going to take. It's going to be my Dallas Cowboys, baby. We're going to have Zeke back the whole season. We're going to Dak Prescott, biggest jump quarterbacks have to make to be great. It's between the second and third year. It's going to happen this year. Dak Prescott going to play out of his mind. Going to have a great running game. Everything's going to change. We're going to have a little easier schedule. That's my pick.
Westman?
All right. My pick is the Detroit Lions.
Love it.
They've got Matt Patricia coming in. In these past few years, they haven't been a defense-oriented team. I think Matt Patricia is going to attract the right staff for them. And speaking of staff, Stafford is going to have to live up to his $29 million name. This is going to be the year for the Lions, as their fans like to say.
Yeah, it has
always their
been right. I mean, hey, listen, 2007 our year, man. 2008 our year. We might have only won 2 games through those 2 years, but I mean, just think about next year. You know, it's always optimistic in Detroit. But I like those picks. But I've got a little bit of an interesting predicament because I think if the Giants can draft a solid quarterback at number 2, get rid of Ben McAdoo, who was just poor at the head coaching position, and get a good coach in there, I honestly think the New York Giants can go from their 2-14 season. I think they're going to be over 500 at least, maybe 10-6 in that terrible NFC East. Besides the Eagles, the Cowboys god awful, Washington Redskins, get Kirk Cousins out of there, he's trash. So New York Giants are going to be my surprise team, I believe.
That's a really good pick.
Thank you so much, Wes. See, you're nice to me. Nobody else is nice to me, but I appreciate that, Wes. I'm giving you a high five in the air.
I felt it.
I just want to say, don't forget about Jimmy G.
Hey, that's respect, dude.
That could be a good take.
49ers. Yeah. Hey,
Can we even consider that a surprise? The man is undefeated.
Let's see what happens.
that's true. Yeah, well, let's see what happens is right. Maybe they could snag Saquon Barkley in the draft. Wow. Jimmy G with Saquon Barkley, I think that would be a pretty good team over there in San Fran.
All right, fellas. That's all we got to
Sir.
say.
That's
All
right, my dog.
All right, my PPs. I'm sorry we rambled a little bit, but I think we had some great content tonight. Please pray for a Thunder dub tomorrow because I get to see my squad in real life for the first time against the Pistons. We appreciate you listening a lot. Follow us on Twitter or Instagram and DM us questions to talk on the show, suggestions. We're always open to suggestions how to make the show better. DM us hate mail, would you rathers, dank memes, whatever warms your heart. For real, though, we thank you again for listening. Subscribe on iTunes. Yes, we're flexing on you by being on iTunes. And tell your friends. And I promise we're trying to be better every episode. Anyway, Prattle people, I will see you later.
See you guys. Thanks a lot for
Adios.
listening.
Shout out to all the PPs.
The PPs. Hey, all of you guys are in my heart. Shout out to you.